Okay, fantastic. So it appears I'm loud and clear. Fantastic. So my name is Mohammed Suleiman, and I'm going to be your host for today's session. And we'll be doing something very interesting in today's session. Okay, it's something I love to talk about a lot, and also show people, the extent they can use this stuff. All right, but before we go into what we have for today's session, okay, all right. So before we go into what we have for today's session, I want to know, okay, somebody's say, is this the Python session? Okay, no, this is not the Python session. All right. So in case you don't know, this session is the where we'll be working with both Excel and Claude AI. So I'll be showing you how to use Excel and Claude AI. Okay. So a lot of people say, oh, AI is coming to replace us. AI, will take our jobs. What's the relevance of a data analyst when you have AI? So um, you'll be seeing exactly how that plays out, and I'll be talking a lot about it in today's session. All right. So I think if you want to join the Python session, we just look at the WhatsApp group you're on. Be able to see You'll be able to see the link for that particular session. I think that should be ongoing as well. All right, so welcome to today's session. Like I said, before we go into what we have exactly today, I would love to know where you're joining us from. All right, I'd love to know where you're joining us from. Are you joining us from Canada? Are you joining from the UK? Are you somewhere in Africa? Are you in Nigeria? Are you in Kenya? I'd love to know where you're joining us from. And also, whether you're a first timer. Okay, I want to know whether you are a first timer. Is this the first time you're joining one of 10 analytics session? I want to know that. Okay, so you can just type your company and yeah, okay, fantastic. And type whether you're joining for the first time. Okay, Amina Abubakar is joining us from Nigeria, joining for the first time. Okay, Adeshegun Tosin is joining us for the first time, also joining from Nigeria. I can see Zoe joining for the first time from the US. Elijah is joining for the first time from Lagos. I can see Bona. Okay, Bona is joining for the first time. Um, okay, so we have a lot of first timers. Okay, so do we have people who have been in one of our sessions in the past? We also have let me say second or third timers. Let me put it that way. I would also love if you can indicate so we see the dispersion of people in today's session. Okay, fantastic. First time. Soraki joining for the first time. Dollar Bumi is joining for the first time from Lagos. Fantastic. So let me see your responses keep coming in while we go ahead with today's session. So somebody was asking, oh, why are we here today? Or what particular session is this? All right. So I'll go ahead and share my screen. Once you can see my screen, type a yes in the chat. I'll share my screen now. And once you can see my screen, type a yes in the chat. Okay, thank you very much, Nasiru. I think Nasiru was also the first person to respond to my first question. So maybe I would consider doing what we call fastest fingers. Okay, maybe we'll do a game called fastest finger at the end of this session, and I'll be rooting for Nasiru to take that home. Okay, but I believe we can see my screen now, and this is exactly what we're going to do today. I'll be walking you through on how to use um, a platform called Claude AI. All right, and we'll be using that to make our job easy as as a data analyst. All right. So many of our participants and even professionals, all right, like myself, sometimes you find yourself doing some tasks, which you'd wish that you can make a lot easier. All right, you could have made a lot easier, but you find yourself spending so much time doing these tasks. Okay, and you could have used what we call AI tools to make the job much more easy, and that increases your productivity by 10x. Okay, so yes, we know that okay, these platforms exist, but how exactly do you use them? So I'm going to be showing you a snippet of how I use AI to make my job as a data analyst easy. Okay, so stay with me so that we can get this done together in today's session. So for those of us who um, who are joining us for the first time, all right, if you're joining us for the first time, welcome to Analytics. Okay, somebody saying I can't hear any audio. All right, somebody saying that's Zeno. Zeno is saying I can't hear any audio. All right, so please confirm once again, guys, if you can hear me. Just type I can hear you, if you can, so that Zeno knows that we can all hear me. Okay, fantastic. All right. Okay, thank you very much for that. Great. So for the benefit of those of us who are joining us for the very first time, all right, so welcome on board to Tenalytics. All right, so Tenalytics is an edtech firm that is passionate about the Black community, all right? And we stand to help, people of the Black community to get into the tech space, all right, to get into the tech space. And the reason we are doing this is because we figured out that the entry barrier is so high. So a lot of Black people find it very difficult to get into the tech space. Myself, all right, throughout my career so far, and I've had the opportunity to work with so many teams, so many organizations, cutting across several sectors. And I'll, do a proper introduction of myself very shortly. Now, I've got the opportunity to work with these organizations, and what I've noticed across all the teams I've gotten to work with on a global scale is that I'm either the only Black person in the room, or we are just a handful of Black people throughout the entire organization. So, in order to change the narrative, all right, in order to change the narrative, that's why Analytics exists. That's why we exist here at Analytics. So I've for example, from my own experience, I've seen the stumbling blocks that and the obstacles that made it difficult for me to switch, because I also transitioned. I'm sharing that with you much sooner. Okay, so I also transitioned from an engineering background to being a data analyst and a data scientist. All right, so I went through some stumbling blocks, some obstacles, and based off of this, come up with this complete premium package that allows you to have a smoother ride during your own transition. Okay, so we offer courses around data analytics, business analysis, data engineering, data science, cybersecurity, financial analytics, HR analytics, and some other programs that we offer here at Analytics. And we've been able to help so many participants make that switch as well up until this point. And how we've been able to do this is by bringing on board super facilitators, all right? Not just facilitators, but these are professionals whose jobs, whose day-to-day job are data analysts or data scientists, as the case may be, that would walk you through using some specific tools and technologies just the way they use it in their day-to-day. So it means that you get to learn experientially. So you learn from the experience of an expert in the field, and that way it's much easier for you to replicate what you've learned on your job when you finally land your first tech job. So this is how we've been able to help people, to make that transition from where they are into, the tech space. And your facilitators work in organizations like McKinsey, Apple, Alfa Romeo, Google, Coca-Cola, and the best of the best organizations um, on the globe. All right. So in a nutshell, that's Analytics. All right, that's Tenalytics. And we have amazing founders. Okay, we have the founder of Tenalytics. That's in the person of Adeza Suleiman. Is a fantastic professional data analytics expert. with close on a decade of experience in the industry, and he has been able to help close on 9,000 participants, get jobs in the tech space till date. All right. And he's worked with conglomerates both in the US and the UK. And he's worked as a data analyst and business performance analyst at Sahara Groups. All right. So he's also worked with the FITC as a data analytics consultant. And like I said, he has close on a decade of experience in the industry, cutting across multiple sectors, including the sports sector, the energy sector, oil and gas, and so on and so forth. So you can always connect with Adeza. Once you get this slide, I'll share the slide with you. All you need to do on this session is fill in the attendance form, which is currently in the chat. If you look at the chat box, if you look inside the chat box right about now, you see the link for you to fill in the attendance. So simply click on the link, fill in the attendance form, and be rest assured you get every single material I'll be using in today's session, including the data sets, the steps you need to follow to replicate everything I'll be doing today, as well as the recording of this session. Okay, so fill in that form and you'll be able to connect with Adeza once you get this slide. So we also have the co-founder of Analytics, and that is Efemena April. All right. And one fantastic thing about Efemena April is that he has won all the hats you can talk about in the data space. So he's worked as a data analyst, he's worked as a data scientist, he's worked as a data engineer, he's worked as a database administrator. He has won all the hats you can find in the data space, and that's one thing that makes him unique. All right, quite a lot of experience, close on a decade of experience as well. Cutting across multiple sectors. All right, and he's worked as the business data support lead at Post Office in the UK. All right, he's also worked with Teleflex in Ireland as a global business systems analyst. All right, like I said, he's worn so many hats in the data space, and he'll be bringing on board this world of experience as well. Once you come on board with us here at Analytics, you can also connect with Efemena April once you get this slide. Okay, like I said earlier, do well to fill in the attendance form so that you can get access to your to all the materials you need to replicate whatever we're doing today's session. All right. So for today's session, you have myself and Elijah Ibulwe. Okay, so you have myself, Mohammed Suleiman. I'm a senior data associate here at Analytics. And my job here at Analytics is very simple. All right, so my job is to help people looking to make that switch into tech as easy as humanly possible. All right. So and I also work as a data analyst and a data scientist, alongside. All right. So I've had the opportunity to work with Alfa Romeo. Alfa Romeo is one of Italy's largest luxury car brand. And they used to be a sister organization with Ferrari up until 2016, when Ferrari became a standalone luxury brand themselves. So, and the one of the tools I used while I was working with Alfa Romeo, is the tool I'll be using today. All right, Excel, and I'll be using that in conjunction with an AI tool called, or an AI platform rather called Claude AI, and you'd see how that plays out. All right. Like I said, I also transitioned into the tech space. My background was in the was yeah I'll say was. All right, so my background was in the engineering field, specifically mechanical engineering. In fact, all right, I went so deep in mechanical engineering that up to today I still fix cars. Okay, I fix turbochargers, I fix even some electric cars that are on automobiles, right? So, but now I do it for fun. Okay, I do that for fun. In my leisure time, I do it for fun. So I focus mainly on okay, I can see people typing in their names. All right, so I focus mainly on tech now, and it's been very very rewarding. All right, and you also have on board Elijah. Elijah would communicate extensively with us, using the chat, and both of us will be driving today's session together. All right. So let me know if you are excited to be here. I want to know. I want to know in the chat, are we excited to be here today? You feel privileged to be here today? Are you excited to be here today? Yes, super excited to join. Fantastic. Great, fantastic. I can see quite a lot of responses. Adeshegun, Nasiru, Zopi. I can also see Dorothy Yondo. I can also see iPhone, Nasiru, Vida, Odira. Fantastic. So let's keep our responses coming in, okay, while I show you what we're going to be doing together today. So I'll show you what we'll be doing together today, and then we'll set the ball rolling. All right, fantastic. So what we are going to be doing today, I've broken it down into 4 segments. All right, I've broken it down into 4 segments. And the very first segment would be us going directly into, I'll show you exactly how to use Claude AI in conjunction with Excel. So I'll share data sets with us, we'll open it in Excel and we'll look at it together and see how AI can help ease our work by 10x. All right. And after that, I'll go into talking about how you can become a data analyst in the era of AI. So back in 2023, that was last year, we all said that, look, 2024 is going to be year of AI. It's going to be the year of AI. So we are slowly and steadily moving into the era of AI. And you as a tech professional need to stay up to date. You need to level up, all right? And even as a beginner, so let's say you are a beginner, right? You need to, know how to use AI so that you can accelerate your growth in the field. All right. And I'll talk more about that in today's session. Okay. And then we'll go into the talking about the upcoming data analytics program on the 6th of April this year. Okay. That's in a couple of weeks. All right. And not just that, finally, I'll show you some success stories, some older participants who have passed through our program and have been able to land their first tech job through us. Okay. And very interestingly, we have a special International Women's Day scholarship and discount ongoing. And it's a whooping 50% discount across all our programs, including our data analytics program. All right. So I'll be talking extensively on that. And, a lot of people ask, oh, is it just for women? The good news is both men and women would benefit from this particular scholarship. So it means you need to stay tuned till the end of today's session. Share this particular link with your friends, with your family. Let them come on board to witness exactly what we are going to be doing and talking about today. All right. So like I said, I'll be showing you success stories. We'll talk, in details about the discount. Like I said, both men and women would be benefiting from this program. So Nasiru, I'll talk more about the program in a short while when we get to that segment. All right. So I can see you asking duration of the program. You'd see all this information and even more. Okay. Just stay with me in today's program and do well to fill in the attendance for the chat box. Okay. So we're going to get started. All right. So we're going to get started right about now. Okay. And first thing first is that let's understand what we are going to be doing today. All right. So now what we are going to be doing today is we're going to be working for one of our clients, and this particular client comes from the travel industry. All right. And it's a highly competitive industry. Okay. And many organizations within this particular industry want to ensure that they are, both optimizing their sales and also giving the best to customers. All right. They want to optimize their sales, and they also want to ensure that their customers are, highly satisfied. Okay. So it means that they cannot escape leveraging data analytics. Okay. To leverage data analytics to help crunch the numerous data they've been able to gather over the past year, so that they can extract insights from this data and help them make informed decisions. So they've been making decisions, all right? They've been doing stuff based on experience, based on, one or two things. But now they want to solely base their decisions on data. So it means they need someone like you who has the data analytics skills to be able to crunch this data for them to facilitate their decision making. All right. So what we're going to be focusing on in today's session is we'll be working with a data set. All right, from this part, from one travel agency, a travel agency. So we'll be working with their data set. Has a couple of information. We'll look at it together shortly, and then would leverage AI, in helping us make our job even easier. So let me just tell you a bit of what AI can do for you before we go to the next things that we have for today. Now, take for example, from my own experience, I've worked with several sectors. So, like I said, my background is in engineering, but I can boldly tell you today that I've worked with organizations from the FMCG, all right, that's fast moving consumer goods, like food organizations. Um, Good evening, please. I can't access this form. Thanks. All right, my team member would sort that out for you, Olani. All right, so now, like I was saying, I've worked with numerous organizations from diverse sectors. Even if my background is in engineering, I've been able to fit in supply chain. All right, I've been able to work with the oil and gas industry. I've been able to work with an organization from the FMCG and so many other sectors. In fact, I've had the opportunity to work with a client from the health sector, okay, analyzing diastolic blood pressure, systolic blood pressure, heart rate, patient weight, and some other key metrics within that particular business. All right. So how have I been able to fit in multiple sectors with ease? That is where AI comes in. All right. That is where AI comes in. And that's as a professional. So let's say you're a beginner. So you're a beginner and you know you get stuck somewhere while you're learning, or maybe on your first job, you get stuck somewhere. AI helps you to get out of that particular position, right? Easily and fast as well. All right. So one other thing you can use AI to do before we go into what we have for today, I'm super excited. So I would love to share all this with you. All right. One other thing you can use AI for as a beginner is you can use it as a learning tool. All right. You can use it as a learning tool. Oh, tell me about so and so concept. Can you explain so and so concept to me like a 5-year-old? And you'd see it break it down for you in such a way that you would understand even better. So I'll show you samples of all these things today when we get in there. I've also provided the link to the data sets in the slide. I've provided the link to the data set in the slide. So when you get the slide, you'll be able to click on this link to gain access to the data set. I've also put it now in the chat. So just in case you want to download it now and see one or two things that you can absolutely do that while we're on the call. And speaking about Claude AI, I've put in step by step on how to open your free Claude AI account. But first off, are you on the call? If you've heard of Claude AI before, type a one. Type about. If you've heard of Claude AI, type a one in the chat. heard Claude AI or you've used Claude AI before, just simply type a one in the chat. Okay, Tobex one. Okay, Tejubi one, paired or you've used. Okay, fantastic. Um, so you can see that slowly and steadily we are moving into the era of AI. So it's becoming increasingly popular. All right. So similar tools in this space are also ChatGPT, right? ChatGPT, um, and we also have sessions dedicated to ChatGPT, which is an AI tool for that you can leverage for analytics as well. So the very first step is for you to type in Claude AI in your web browser. You see the second step is to click on the Claude AI link, and then you would click on continue with Google. Or if you don't have a Google account, you can simply enter in your email to continue with your email. All right. And then if you click on, continue with Google, it asks you to select one of your Google profiles. And once you do that, all you need to do is to click on continue. Super easy. And then you enter in your phone number, hit send verification code. And all you need to do is to follow the prompts from there. And you have set up your Claude, your free Claude AI account, right? You would have set up your free Claude AI account. Okay, so simple, easy 5 steps. Again, I've included it in this particular slide, and all you need to do is to the fill in the attendance form, and you gain access to every single material we're using for today. All right. So Isaac is saying they can't hear me. All right. So I believe Isaac will be put through to by my team members on board. All right. So I'll go ahead and open the data set. So I shared the link to the data set in the chat a couple of moments ago. I'll share it again. So that's it in the chat one more time. Simply click on that. So simply click on the link. All right. So simply click on the link, and if you input Nigerian phone, you will not get the code to complete to download. Um, all right. I'm not sure if that's a question, but just select your region. Select your region. Okay, you see that the flag. So you click on it, select your region, then you put the phone number. Okay, you see the flag here. If you click on that, you'll be able to enter in. You select Nigeria. If you're in Nigeria, you'd enter in your phone number, and then you would be able to open your you'll be able to open your own, you'll be able to get the verification code rather. Okay. Um, all right, fantastic. So if you can't hear me, all you need to do is to step out of the call and join back in, and you should be able to hear me afterwards. So I would open the data set now, and would go ahead and look at it together. Okay, so if you're going to be working with me, that's fine. I'll go ahead and share my screen one more time. So if you can see my screen now, just type in a yes in the chat. Type in a yes in the chat. Okay, fantastic, great. All right, so if you've downloaded the data set, you'd also see that you have what I have currently. Yeah. Okay, you have what I have currently here. All right, so I'll walk us through what the data set entails, and then we can continue with what we have for today. All right, fantastic. So I would make my first off, I believe we can see my screen. I want to believe we can see my screen. Okay, I want to believe we can see my screen. And you'd see that the very first thing you have here is that these columns are not, you can see that you have customer, you have age, is where can I download the data set. All right, so I'll just put it in the chat one more time. So that's the link to download the data set. Okay, so what you can see on my screen here is you can see the columns of the data set. Okay, you can see the columns of the data sets in here. I'll just make it a bit bold so that we can all see it together. So you can see that you have quite a number of columns in the data set, but they are not all adjusted. They are not all adjusted. Okay, so let's adjust the columns so that we can see exactly what they entail, and then we can continue from there. All right. So now, all you need to do to adjust all the columns at once, many Excel users, if they want to adjust columns in their data set, you adjust this way, one after the other. All right, one after the other. So when you have a large data set like this, you don't want to do this. Okay, you don't want to do that. What you want to do is you want to click on this icon here, right? Click on this particular icon here where you can see my screen. Where you can see my mouse hovering. Can we all see where my mouse is? I want us to see this particular one so that um, we are on the same page. Are we to do the same as you're doing? No, you can relax. Okay, I just want you to confirm if you can see my screen. Okay, you can relax. Okay, so you can relax and just enjoy what we are going to be doing together. And when you get the slides, you get the data sets and this particular recording in your free time, you can then go ahead and replicate. All right. So if the form is not working at your end, it may likely be your connection. So try to check your connection and try again. Okay, see if you can change your connection and try again. Right. So I think quite a number. If you fill the form, you fill the attendance form, just type filled in the chat so that we know that some persons have been able to fill the form. And the problem is not with the form. So just type filled in the chat if you fill the form so we can confirm. Okay. Okay, fantastic. So quite a number of people have filled the form. Okay, fantastic. Also do well to follow us on our YouTube page and all our socials, all right? On YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, so that you can receive our content, okay? Our master classes are also usually posted on YouTube. So you can also get access in there as well, all right? So I was saying that, can you see this icon here? And we said yes. So I'll click on that particular icon and that highlights the entire data set for me. And what I want to do next is you see this line, you see a line separating all the letters you find in here in Excel. So this is Microsoft Excel, right? So, and these columns are denoted by letters, letter A, B, C, D, E, F. And in between any two columns, all right, any two columns, you'd find a line separating the two letters. You'd find a line separating the two letters. So after you've clicked on this to highlight the entire data set, all right, you double click, you put your cursor on the line that separates any two letters in the data set, and then you simply double click. You simply double click, simply double click. And once you do that, you notice that the entire data sets have been adjusted. And you can see all the columns that you have in the data. You have customer ID, which is the unique identifier for the customer. You also have the customer age, which is the age. You can see that in there. You have the country, okay? So this particular country is the country of origin of that particular customer. They are to and their package, that's package, and is it a luxury part? So through which channel did they secure their bookings? Okay, through which channel did they secure their bookings? So some secure online, some secure through agents, while some secure through the direct channel. Okay, through the direct channel, maybe by visiting one of their branches. All right. And then you also have number of travels. So how many times um, have sorry, number of travelers, I beg your pardon. So how many people are going to be on board on this particular booking, right? How many people are going to be on board on this particular booking? And then you also have the trip duration. Okay, so the trip duration in hours. All right, the trip duration in hours. You have that in there. You also have the season. Okay, you also have the season. Um, you also have the season. Sorry about that. So you also have the season um, in which they are embarking on this journey. Okay, whether it's fall or summer or during the winter or spring. Okay, you also have their total spend. All right, total spend. Um, this is in dollars. Okay, so that's the total amount of money spent um, for this particular booking. And then you also get their feedback um, after each after each journey. All right. You also get their feedback on a scale of 1 to 5. How satisfied were they with the service? Okay. And the main aim of crunching this particular data set would be to extract insights. So we want to extract insights to help optimize their sales. All right, the sales of this particular travel agency. But take, for example, you're an absolute beginner. Okay, you're an absolute beginner. You're very new in data analytics, and you've not had the opportunity to work with a travel agency ever before, right? But you're faced with this particular task. And let me tell you how this can play out. When you are a tech talent, you have the opportunity to work as a freelancer, right? You have platforms where you can do what we call freelancing and offer your data analytics services to clients. And your clients would come from several different backgrounds, including travel agencies. All right. So you need to be able to analyze the data like this, um, so that you can get paid for that. You'd also do what we call remote jobs. You can also find yourself in an industry which you've never worked in before. So now, once you find yourself in this particular situation, all right, what do you do? Now, I made mention of the fact that this is where AI comes in. So I'm literally, even painting a scenario where you are starting out as a beginner. Okay. So how do you attack this situation? What do you do? Right? What questions can you answer using this data set? So let's assume you don't know um, the set of questions that you can ask, um, using this data, or that you can answer rather using this data. What then? What then do you do? What then do you do? And this is where AI comes in. All right, this is where AI comes in. Okay, this is where AI comes in. So once you've set up your account, okay, once you set up your account, all you need to do is to go to your browser. So I'm going to show you my browser now. Open up Claude and we'll answer one or two questions, and then we'll move into the other things that we have today. And again, guys, there is a lot with AI. What we are going to be doing today is just a snippet of what you can do with AI. So what I'm going to do now is I'll open Claude AI. So I'll go in my browser and type Claude AI and hit enter. All right. And you can see Claude AI in here. All I need to do is to click on that. I'll click on that, and that opens my Claude AI account for me. Okay, I set it up previously, and I've put the description for you to set yours up in the slide, so you have nothing to worry about. You can easily get to this point once you get the slide. Okay, just fill in the attendance form, and that will be sent across to you um, after this particular um, session. So now this is the landing page for Claude AI. So you can see it says, "Good evening, Mohammed. What can I help you with?" Right? So look at this platform as an expert in many fields. It's an expert in many fields, including data analytics, um, travel agency, industry. And you can literally start your research from here. Okay, you can do your research in here, and it makes your job much faster. Okay, so you can ask literally any question here. All right, you can ask any question. You can say, oh, tell me about the travel industry. Tell me about the travel industry. Okay, tell me about the travel industry and how data analytics is relevant to the industry. Okay, tell me about the travel industry and how data analytics is relevant to the industry. And I hit start charts and it breaks things down for me. Okay, and you can see travel industry is a vast and diverse sector. It encompasses various segments such as transportation, accommodation, tour operations, travel agencies, and related services. Okay, it's a significant contributor to global economy, and it also goes to explain how data analytics is relevant. And you can see it goes to list out how data analytics can be relevant. I'll just say the highlights. All right, customer insights and personalization, revenue management and pricing optimization, operational efficiency and cost optimization, customer experience and service enhancement, risk management and fraud detection, um, destination management and marketing. And if you ask it to give you even more, it's going to pop out for you. All right, it's going to pop out more. Okay, but this is just showing you what it's like, especially if you're seeing this for the first time. All right, if you're seeing it for the first time, this is what it's like. So what you want to now do is this, very simple. You have a data set at hand. Okay, I'm just going to open the data set. So you have a data set at hand, a data set of a travel agency, and you really don't know what exact question to answer that can help you extract insights from the data. Okay, you really don't know what questions you want to ask. All you need to do is very simple. Okay, let me tell you what we'll do, then I'll go ahead and do it and see. Now, what I'm going to do is I'll go to Claude AI, I'll go back to Claude AI and ask Claude AI and explain the issue to Claude AI. So Claude AI is like a very intelligent robot that you can interact with using your normal language, right? So I'll explain to Claude AI that, look, I have a data set, from a travel agency, okay? And I really don't know what question I can answer using the data, right? So I want to um, I want to give the data set, the headers of the data set to you. That's Claude AI, and you'll tell me what key questions I can ask from the data, okay, or that I can answer, right, from the data to help the travel agency optimize their operation. Okay, so it means that I'll just go back here to Claude AI. Where was I? All right, here. Okay, so the very next thing I would say is, so I'll type what I want in here and say, I have a data set. All right, I have a data set from a travel agency, and I want you, okay, I will give you the headers contained in the data. I'll give you the headers contained in the data, full stop. I want you to come up with three key questions I can answer using the data. in order to help optimize the operations, optimize the operations of the travel agency. Okay, of the travel agency. So, and this is you just explaining the situation to the AI, right? Is you just explaining the situation to the AI. Okay, so I have a data set from a travel agency, and I will give you the headers contained in the data, and I want you to come up with 3 key questions I can answer using the data in order to help optimize operations. So in some cases, you can upload. Yes, somebody's asking the question. So you can upload the data in some cases, okay? But there are some limitations, especially when you're using the free version. Okay. Um, you can see max 5 to 10 MB each. All right. So there are some limitations. So when you're dealing with a very large data set, you might not be able to upload that particular data set, in here, especially when you're not subscribed. Okay, but you would also try that out, and you'd see how that plays out. Okay, so now since I've typed in this question, before I send it, okay, before I send it, I'll go back to my Excel file. I'll go back to Excel. I'll go back to my Excel data set, and I would highlight the headers. I would highlight the headers, okay, and hit Control C. I would highlight the headers and copy the headers of the data set. I would highlight the headers and copy the headers of the data set. I then go back to Claude AI. Okay, I go back to Claude AI, and then um, now if you hit enter, it's going to send this. It's going to send this. Okay, but you can see down here it says use shift return to new line. Return also, means enter. Okay, on your keyboard. So I would hold shift and hit enter to go to the next line so that I can keep typing. So I'll hold shift and hit enter, and that allows me to go to the next line. And then I would say here are the headers. Here are the headers. And then Control V to paste. I paste the headers. Okay, I paste the headers. All right. And then you can see it just copies all and pastes them, separating them using a space. So you can put a comma so that it's very clear, what each headers are. I'll put commas to separate them. After age, I'll put a comma. Country, I'll put a comma. Destination, I'll put a comma. Package type, put a comma. Booking channel, put a comma. Number of travelers, put a comma. Trip duration, put a comma. Season, put a comma. Total spend, sorry, total spend, put a comma, and then satisfaction, I can put a full stop since that's the last one. Okay, so here are the headers. So now that I've done this, all I need to do is to hit enter or click send. Okay, hit enter or click that button to send it. Okay, click the button to send it. All right, click the button to send it. And what you then see is this gives you ideas. So you were totally lost at the beginning of this analysis, but this now gives you ideas. It said based on the headers provided, here are 3 key questions you could potentially answer using the data set to help optimize the operations of the travel agency. First is which customer segment, based on age, country, or travel party size, generates the highest revenue and um, customer satisfaction. All right. So answer this. So it's giving you ideas. You could analyze the relationship between variables such as age, country, number of travelers, and total spend, as well as their correlation with satisfaction score. So this insight could help the travelers. It tells you what to do. And then you go to the next question. How do package types, destinations, and seasonality affect booking patterns, trip duration, and overall spending? Okay, that's another question you can answer in there. And finally, say which booking channel are most effective in driving customer satisfaction and revenue for different customer segments or package types. So these are key questions that you can answer, okay, using the data set. So let's pick one of them. Let's see. Um, let's look at question two, for example. Let's look at question two first. Okay, how do package types, destinations, and seasonality affect booking patterns, trip duration, and overall spending? Okay, overall spending. So we'll look at this, okay, and see what insight we can generate. Okay, so we're going to look at package types as against overall spending and duration and so on and so forth. Okay, so let's first pick package type, okay, and against overall spending. Package type against overall spending. So now I'll go back to Excel. Since I have a very good idea now, I'll go back to Excel. Okay, I'll go back to Excel. All right, I'll go back to Excel. Okay, and because we're going to be using Excel for this, there are some concepts I also want to show you in here. Now, when you're analyzing data in Excel, one of the first things you want to do is you want to ensure that your data set is formatted as an Excel table. You want to ensure that your data set is formatted as an Excel table. And then you might want to be asking now, isn't this a table already? Stay with me. Now, to convert this to an Excel table, all you need to do is you want to click anywhere inside of the data. Click anywhere inside of the data. Okay, anywhere inside of the data, not outside of it, not outside of it, inside of it. And then Control T on your keyboard. Control T on your keyboard. T for table. T for table. Control T for table. And you see this dialog box pop up and it says create table. All right. All you need to do is to ensure that my table has headers is checked, meaning that the first row in your data set would be considered the headers of the table. All right. So ensure it is checked. Okay. And then you click on OK. You click on OK. You simply click on OK. All right. You click on OK. And apart from the visible change that you can see here right now, your Excel table comes with a host of other functionalities. Okay. It comes with an integrated filter. You can sort and filter. Okay. So it comes with integrated filter. It also comes with what you call structured referencing. Okay, what you call structured referencing, and this allows you to easily work with your it allows you to easily work with your data. Okay, so these are just some of the functionalities that come with an Excel table. Now, once you've created an Excel table, you'd also notice that you have an additional tab. In as much as you are clicked inside of the table that you just created, you would have an additional tab called table design. Table design. Okay, table design. All right, table design. So when you click on table design, you'd see all of these ribbons. And if you direct your gaze to the left-hand side here, where you can see my mouse, you direct your gaze to the left-hand side here, you'd see what we call table name. Table name. One of the things I tell, especially beginners that are looking to get into the space, is ensure you use a table name that is easy and descriptive. Okay, easy to remember and also descriptive. All right, so I'll call this table as travel. I'll call it as travel. So it means I'll click inside this box where the table name is. By default, it says table 1. So I'll click in there, delete what I have there, and type in travel. I'll delete what I have in there and type in travel. Travel, travel. Once I type in travel, I hit enter. And this means that the name of my table now becomes travel. Okay, the name of my table becomes travel. So it means that I can then easily reference it to create what we call pivot table and pivot charts to answer the questions that Claude asked me to. Okay, so I said would use, I'll type it in the chat, pivot table and pivot charts. Okay, pivot table and pivot charts are what we would use to answer these questions that Claude has suggested. All right. So now that I've created a table, the next thing I want to do is to create a new sheet. And to do that, all I need to do is to click on this plus sign in here. This plus sign at the bottom of my Excel windows. I'll click on that. You can see hovering my mouse on it, it says new sheet. I'll click on that, and that gives me a new sheet. Okay, and in this new sheet, um, I would create pivot tables to answer my questions. So some people call pivot tables as summary tables. All right, summary tables, and that's exactly what they do. They help you summarize. You see that large chunk of data that we have. The pivot table helps you to summarize the data set. Okay, summarize the data set, and you can see the entire data set at a glance, and also specific to the question you want to answer. So now, what I'll do here now is this. All right. So the first thing I'll do is I'll insert a pivot table. I'll insert a pivot table, and to do that, I'll click on my insert tab right here on my screen where you can see my mouse. I'll click on the insert tab. Okay, click on the insert tab, and you want to click on this icon for pivot table. You see pivot table in here. You see pivot table. Click on pivot table, all right, and you want to select from table or range. Since you have a table that you've created, so you created a table, and we call the table. Who can remind me of the name? We call the table. What did we call the table moments ago? What did we call the table moments ago? Fantastic. Travel. Great. All right, great. So I'll select from table or range. All right, and you'd see that gives me, sorry about that. So that gives me, this dialog box for pivot table. Okay, and what the dialog box is asking me for is, it's saying, Mohammed, what's the name of the table that you want me to create a pivot table from? So what's the name of your data source in a nutshell? And we said we called it travel. So I'll type travel in there. I'll type travel in there, type in travel, and all you need to do after that is to click on OK. You click on OK. Now, once you click on OK, you notice that this creates a pivot table for you. If you look at this area, it says pivot table, okay, and then it says to build a report, choose fields from the pivot table field list. All right, so you can see, a report is like a summary of something, okay, and that's what I said a pivot table does for you. So if you look at the right-hand side of your screen, do you notice that we have what we call pivot table fields, and we have a list of our columns inside of here? Can we see that? Can you see customer ID, age, country, destination, package type, booking channel, number of travelers, trip duration? Can we all see that on my screen? Can you see this? Can we see this, guys? Okay, great, fantastic. Okay, great. So these are what you call, Amin Abubakar is saying, this which Excel are you using? Is it 2010 or 2016? So I'm currently making use of Microsoft Excel 365. So it comes with the latest features, all right? But you can actually do this also with the versions that you mentioned. You can do this on 2010. You can do this on 2016 as well. All right. So just in case you're wondering. So now, what Claude AI has asked us to do, let's just take a sneak peek at it one more time, is that we said we'll go with question 2 first, okay? So it says we can look at package type or destination or seasonality. Okay, we can look at how it relates with trip durations and overall spending. So we want to first pick package type and overall spending. Let's pick package type and overall spending first. Then later we can look at destinations and maybe overall spending or trip duration. Okay, and then we can see if there are any patterns in there. Okay, we can see if there are any patterns in there. We can also look for we can also look at booking channels that have, you know, the most effective customer satisfaction. Okay, so we'll look at that before we go into the next thing that we have. Okay, so package type and overall spending. Let's look at that first of all. Now, I want to see package type. Okay, you can see package type in here. All I need to do is to check the box for package type. You see there's a small box to the left-hand side of package type. So all I need to do is to click on that box. Okay, once you click on the box, package type goes into rows. Package type goes into rows. And what rows mean is that anything you have here, right, Excel would list out, Excel will list it out, will list the individual package types that you have in that column altogether. If we go back to the data set, let me go back to the data set and show you. If you look at package type, you have standard, budget, standard, luxury, and so on. So what the pivot table does for you is to summarize the package types that you have in that particular column. Okay. Remember I said your pivot tables are summary tables that help you summarize your data set. So now we have package type in rows. Now, if for some reason you check the box for package type and it goes to values, okay, what would happen is that in the values box, Excel would count the number of package types that you have in the data set. Okay, but this is not what we want. We actually want a list of the package type. So in case you're working on this maybe later, and when you check the box for package type, yours goes to values. All you need to do is from where it is on values currently, you drag it and drop it in rows. You drag and drop it in rows. You want it to be in rows so that you can see the breakdown of the package type. Are we together, guys? Are we together? Are we together on this? So you want it in rows because when it is in rows, that is when you can see it in form of a list. Now, beside each of these package type, we now want to see the total spend. Okay, the total spend. All right, we want to see the total spend. So all I need to do is I would come to total spend. In my field list here, I'll come to total spend in my field list and check the box for total spend. Check the box for total spend. Just check the box for total spend. And because total spend contains numbers, okay, it contains numbers, you can see it goes to values, and by default, it is summed up. By default, it is summed up. And you can see you have sum of total spend. Okay, and for budget, you can see you have I think that is 818,000, over 818,000. This is close to 930,000, while this is 866, about 866,000. Okay, and somebody's asking, please, has the data set been cleaned already? So this particular data set, has no issues. All right, it has no issues, but your pivot table, creating pivot table is also one of the techniques of data cleaning or validating the health of your data. So once you create, if you want to know, especially if you are working with a large data set, if you want to know if the data is okay, you can go ahead and create pivot tables. And pivot tables sort of pick what you have, in the data set, and you'll be able to see if there are blanks, blank would come up. If there are missing values, you'd see all of that, and you are able to, attend to them. All right, but today's session is not centered around data cleaning. All right. So we want to extract data. I mean, extract insight from this particular data, which is why we are going this route. Okay. But like I said, creating pivot tables is also a technique of checking the health of your data. Okay. So put that as part of your just write that down. Okay. So and you know that pivot tables are also is also a technique for you to um, check the health of your data. All right. So having said that, can we all see? Can we all see what we have in here now? We have the numbers in here. Okay. So, but these numbers are not easy to read. Or I don't know if you are like me, you won't find these numbers easy to read, right? Or are they easy to read? I think they are easy to read, but we can make it a lot easier. Okay, we can make this a lot more easier to read. And how do we do that? We create what we call pivot charts. Pivot charts. Pivot charts. Now, pivot charts, all right, like I said, pivot tables are summary tables, while pivot charts are charts that you create from your pivot tables to visually represent what you have in the pivot table. So we want to visualize what we have in this particular pivot table. Okay. So in order to do that, I'll just click anywhere inside of that pivot table you created. I'll click anywhere inside of the pivot table I just created. Okay. And then I'll click on pivot table analyze. Now, depending on the Excel version you're using, you might either see you'd either see pivot table analyze like I have it on mine, or you'd see analyze. Okay, so click on analyze or click on pivot table analyze as the case may be. Now, once you click on that, if you look at the right-hand side in here, you'd see pivot charts, pivot charts, pivot chart. And hovering my mouse on it, you'd see it says insert a pivot chart tied to the data in this pivot table. So because I've currently clicked on this pivot table, if I click on the pivot chart now, the pivot chart icon, it shows me a preview of um, a preview of the of the of the charts, and all I need to do is click on OK. I click on OK. Now, guys, once I've clicked on OK, can we see what I have on my screen? Tell me what you see in your own words, in a single sentence, very short sentence. What do you see, or what can you say about the package type and total spend? What can you say about the package type and total spend? What can you say about it? What can you say about it? Fantastic. Rebecca says luxury has the highest spending. Fantastic. All right. Um, total for each variable. Fantastic. Luxury has the highest. It's quite explanatory. As you can see, it's much easier. You don't even need to look at the absolute figures. All right. So somebody says high demand for luxury, followed by standard. Okay. So remember, what we are looking at is total spend, the amount of money spent in each package type. So you see that it's safe to say that this particular travel agency gets most of their revenue from their luxury packages. Okay, so their luxury packages fetch them the highest the highest revenue. Now, let's say you want to sort them, from highest to lowest. You want to sort them from highest to lowest. So it's even much easier to read than what we have now. Okay. All you need to do is you click on this pivot. You have to click on the pivot table, okay, and then right click on any of the values in the pivot table, any of the numbers in the pivot table. Right click, right click. Once you right click on the numbers, you'd see sort, you'd see sort, you'd see sort. Okay, hover your mouse on sort, and you see sort from smallest to largest, or sort from largest to smallest. So let's sort from largest to smallest. So I'll click on largest to smallest, and you see the chart updates and shows me luxury is the highest, followed by standard, and then budget. Are we together, guys? Are we together? Are we together? Fantastic. Great. So even after you've created your chart, you can still go ahead and sort, and then the chart update, and you see what you have. So let's take one more. Let's take one more question. Okay, let's look at one more question. Um, especially satisfaction, because as an organization, one thing you want to track is your customer satisfaction. Okay, you want to track customer satisfaction. You want to track customer satisfaction. Okay. Now, let's look at how Claude AI puts it. So if you go to Claude AI, one of the questions asked is, let's look at the booking. It says booking channels. What booking channels are most effective in driving um, customer satisfaction? So it's saying, oh, what booking channels are most effective in driving customer satisfaction? Okay, so we want to see, is is there any booking channel that um, that that kind of affects our customer satisfaction? And then this can give us an idea also and say, okay, after looking at booking channels, we can still take a look at how package types also affect customer satisfaction. Okay, so but let's do this together. Let's look at booking types, right? So I'll go back to this. I'll go back to this, and then I'll create, to answer that second question, I would create another pivot table. Okay, I'll create another pivot table. And you want to ensure you've clicked on an empty cell. Click on an empty cell. Okay, give a space, give a considerable space beneath the first pivot table, and click on an empty cell to create a new pivot table. Excel would not allow you to create a pivot table inside of another pivot table, or to create a pivot table overlapping another pivot table. Hence the reason why I've said, scroll a bit down, give considerable space, and then click in a cell to create another pivot table. So I'll click in this cell, I'll click on insert, I'll click on insert, and click on the icon for pivot table, or you can click on the drop down. Okay, it's much faster to click on the icon, this icon on top of the pivot table here. I'll click on that, and the dialog box pops up immediately asking me, oh, what's that name I gave my table? I think I've forgotten the name I gave my table. Can someone remind me of the name I gave my table? Fantastic, travel. I'll type in travel. Type in travel. Great. Type in travel. Now, once you type in travel, again, you hit OK. And you see another pivot table is created for you. Another pivot table is created for you. And all I need to do is, since I want to see the booking channel, again, I would love to see the booking channel as a list. And then I want to see my customer satisfaction on the right-hand side. Okay, my customer satisfaction on the right-hand side. But before I do that, let me show you what it looks like in the data sets. Okay, you can see that you have booking channel, online, agents, direct. There may be others down the line, all right, but you won't know until you summarize. Okay, and then here you have the customer satisfaction rated on a scale of 1 to 5. Okay, if you click on the drop down, you can see it's rated on a scale of 1 to 5. Okay, on a scale of 1 to 5. All right, rated on a scale of 1 to 5. So now, all you need to do is now that we've created another pivot table, all you need to do now is let's drag in, or let's check the box for booking channel. Okay, I'll check the box for booking channel. Check the box for booking channel. And when you check the box for booking channel, you notice that booking channel goes to rows. And like I said, if yours goes to values, let's say like this, goes to values, all you need to do is to drag it to rows because you want to see your booking channels as a list, okay, as a list. So you drag it to rows and um, Excel summarizes it for you. Somebody's asking, can't we copy the previous table to the new cell? Almost another pivot table be created. You can copy actually, all right? But I want you to get used to creating pivot tables, especially for those of us who are seeing this for the first time, all right? So you can absolutely do that. So now that you've put in booking channels, okay, you've put in the booking channels, you've seen um, you have agents, you have direct, you have online. Then we want to see customer satisfaction. Okay, you want to see customer satisfaction. So all I need to do is I'll check the box for customer satisfaction. And um, like I said, my customer satisfaction rating is on a scale of 1 to 5. But what Excel has done for me here is to sum it up because it has seen numbers in here. It has seen numbers in here. Excel sums it up for me. Okay, Excel sums it up for me. But I want to ask you, my customer satisfaction, um, if I sum it up, is it a good way to really know what my customers' um, feedback is? Is it a good way if I sum my customer satisfaction up? Is it a good way to know? Um, okay, somebody says no, no, because it's rating. No, it should be count. All right. Okay, fantastic. People are saying no. Great. So you can come to Claude AI and say um, my customer satisfaction, my customer satisfaction, all right, has been summed up in my pivot table in Excel. What is a better way to summarize my customer satisfaction per booking channel? Booking channel. Okay. You can ask this question. All right. You can ask this question. Okay. So what's a better way, okay, to summarize? Okay. What's a better way to summarize? And okay. So you can see that it looks what it does now is it has said, okay, if you have already summarized your satisfaction data in a pivot table in Excel, one better way to visualize and analyze customer satisfaction per booking channel will be to create a chart or graph. Okay, so it's saying I should create a chart or graph, and you can see that now, guys. You can see that it's giving me an answer. Okay, I know how to create a graph, but this is not the question I want Claude AI to answer for me. Okay, I wanted it to give me an idea on, okay, maybe I should look at it as um, maybe average or something like that. All right, but let me read further and see if it mentions something like that. Okay, it says specifically you could create a column chart or a bar chart with the booking channels on x-axis and the corresponding average or summarize customer satisfaction scores on the y-axis. So it is suggesting that I use average rather than summing everything up. Okay, I can use average rather than summing everything up. So you can ask further, oh, do you mean um, average satisfaction. Average satisfaction describes the data better. Do you mean average satisfaction describe the data better? It says yes. Using the average, which in some cases can be called mean, all right, using the average satisfaction score is generally a better way to summarize and represent customer satisfaction data per booking channel, rather than just showing a total or sum of satisfaction score. And it further explains, here is why. It's giving you reasons why average is better. Interpretability. So interpretability is explaining that, oh, the average satisfaction score provides a more intuitive and easily interpretable metric. It gives you a sense of the typical or central satisfaction level for each booking channel on the scale of 1 to 5 or 1 to 10, as the case may be. Now, if you download apps from Google Play or your Apple Store, depending on the OS you're using, you'd see ratings. Each even on if you want to watch a movie, you'd see each movie have a rating, either from 1 to 100 or from 1 to 10. Have you seen something like that, or is it just me? If you've seen something like that, just type a yes in the chat. Exactly. You want to download an app, you check the rating on a scale of 1 to 5. If people rate it, let's say 4 points, you'd see, and what you'd see there is, if it's been rated on a scale of 1 to 5, you'd see what you are seeing there is the average rating people have given. You can see 4.7, and that tells you that, oh, that's a good software to download, especially if a lot of people have given that rating. All right. So that's what it's trying to say here. So it's easier for you to interpret rather than for you to come and see rating 10,024. Really doesn't make any sense, right? It really doesn't make any sense, 10,024. So that does not really tell a story like the average. So because of this reason, all right, because of this reason, we can then go back to our Excel file. And instead of seeing average here, instead of seeing sum here, which we already have, we want to see average. So to change it to average, very simple. All we need to do is I'll come to my value box here, my values box here. I'll come to my values box here where I have sum of satisfaction. Remember, when I checked satisfaction, when I checked the box for satisfaction here from my field list, it came to values, which is why I want it. And by default, I summed it up. But I want average. All I need to do is I'll click on small arrow, this small drop down on the right-hand side here. I'll click on it. And you want to click on value field settings. Value field settings. Click on value field settings, and then you click on, you'd see sum, count, average, max, mean, all that. So I want to click on average because I want to see the average satisfaction. All right, click on average, see the average satisfaction, and then you click on OK. And then you click on OK. Now, once you click on OK, all right, once you click on OK, you are now able to see the average satisfaction for each booking channel. For agents, you can see you have 3.241, a bunch of what do you call it now, decimal places. So let's clean this up. Okay, let's make it a lot better than this. So I would highlight these values. I want to take out these decimal places so that it's easier to read than this before we then create our chart. Okay. You'd highlight these values. Okay, highlight these values, and then you want to click on your home tab right here. Click on your home tab right here, and you want to direct your gaze to the center part of your screen here, where you can see my mouse on the number ribbon. So these are ribbons. You have your clipboard ribbon, font ribbon, alignment ribbon. You have the number ribbon. This number ribbon, you have a small icon here. Okay, you have two of them. So the first one is to increase decimal place. If you click on it, it increases the decimal place. All right. While the second one is to decrease decimal place. You click on it, you continue to click on it multiple times, until you have your preferred decimal place. Okay, let's leave it at 2 decimal place. So you can see your average satisfaction rate for agents booking channel is 3.24. For direct channel is 3.33, and for online it is 3.24. So let me now ask you, do you think there's any significant difference in the experience in terms of satisfaction of your customers through the channel? Do you think the channel really has any effect in how a customer perceives your service? You as a data analyst now, that's me asking you. From the values you can see, do you think there's any significant difference? No. Okay, Sekina says no. Almaruf says no. Nope, it doesn't. No difference. Exactly. So you can say that there is no significant, not that there is no difference, but there is no significant difference. All right. So they are very close. Okay. The only one you can say is even significant is direct. But if you look at it really, they are not really far apart. Okay. So we can say that the booking channel does not really affect how the customer experiences the business. Great. So now let's now see if the package type affects the average satisfaction rate. So we'll take out, rather than keeping booking channels here, let's remove booking channels and put in um and put in let's remove booking channel and put in package type. All right, we'll remove booking channel and put in package type. So now, in order to do that, all I need to do is I would, you click on this pivot table, and then in your field list, you have where you have booking channel, uncheck it, uncheck booking channel, uncheck booking channel, and you notice that you just have the overall average satisfaction. All right, because average satisfaction is still checked. So this time, I'll then check the box for package type. I'll then check the box for package type, package type. So package types then comes into rows, and you see a list of your package type and the average satisfaction for customers. Now, I'll ask the same question to you. Do you think that there is, the what's the question now? Well, people are already saying yes. I've not asked my question and you're saying yes. Okay, what was the question? What was the question? I've not asked my question. We already say yes. Can somebody tell me what the question was? Okay, somebody saying there is significant difference. Exactly. So if you ask the question now as a data analyst, is there a specific package type that really affects how a customer experiences the business? The answer is a big yes, like you guys have already said. You answered the question even before I did ask. So, and you'd see that people in the budget, people in the budget, the budget, what do you call it now? The budget package type, you know, are rating very high, 3.78, very close to 4. While luxury is roughly 3.0, right? And standard, roughly the same rating, right? When you look at them, really, roughly the same rating. Luxury and standard, they have, and their rating is about just a bit above average. Okay, so 3 out of 5. Yeah, that's acceptable. That's good. All right. But you are doing very well in terms of satisfying the kind of experience you're giving your 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 customers that are in the budget package type. Now, given that most of your revenue comes from luxury, okay, um, and the list comes from budget, but the people that go for budgets are giving you a very high rating. What can you suspect within this business? Tell me. Even if you are not a data analyst, from what we've gathered so far, budget is yielding um, not as much revenue as luxury, but they have, they're experiencing a very high satisfaction rate. So what do you want to tell me? What can you suspect about this bill? So just take a moment, think about it, type your answer in the chat, and then we'll move to the next thing. All right. I'm awaiting your response. And okay, that's Victor, total average. Okay. Customer service. Okay, the budget category is achievable. I want to see your responses. Okay, the customers are satisfied with the budget package compared to the rest. Great, great. Let's keep our responses coming in. Okay, and then I'll come back here to Claudia. Yeah, budget is more the budget package is more affordable. All right. That's because it's cheap. Okay, mostly because it's cheap. All right. So but what you are giving them, package you have for them, you know, are very is very satisfactory. Somebody saying even though this is Abasi. Abasi saying even though luxury brings in more income but has low satisfaction score, it means that more focus should be placed on and developing and improving the luxury package. Fantastic. Okay, fantastic. So you can see that's Uku Abasi. Have you worked as a data analyst before? Have you worked as a data analyst before? And Ifeka Odera also says something very similar. So the company should work on the luxury and standard categories to boost satisfaction. Okay, to boost satisfaction. Fantastic. Okay, so you can also ask Claude AI and get ideas. Okay, and see what you have. You can say from the data. Okay, from the data, right? I noticed that um we have three budgets. I mean package types. Three package types. Okay, three package types. I want to name them budgets, budgets, standard, and luxury. Budget, standard, and luxury. I noticed that the package, the luxury package type yielded the highest revenue, but customers appear not to be as satisfied when compared to the budget package type. Why could this, or you can say what could be the reason? What could be the reason? Okay, and this is just to pick the AI to see to get ideas. Since you've analyzed the data now, you've extracted insights. So what could be the reason? Fantastic. Now you can see that so there could be several potential reasons why customers who booked the luxury package type have had lower satisfaction levels compared to those who booked the budget package type, despite the higher revenue generated. Number one, high expectation. It's saying that luxury packages often come with higher price tags and consequently higher customer expectation. So you're asking them for money. a much higher price compared to the budget. So they also have high expectations, right? So customers paying premium prices for luxury travel experiences may have very high standards and expectations for service quality, amenities, and overall experience. So if these elevated expectations are not met or exceeded, it can lead to lower satisfaction levels, even if the experience is objectively. And I've experienced this before. Although I won't mention names, I've been in a hotel before. I wanted to book, right? Wanted to book for a room, and they told me they have quite a number of packages. And when they showed me all the rooms, to be honest, they were practically the same thing. They're practically the same, one and the same thing. All right. So in such a case, a customer like me can, just rate low, especially if there is no significance, if the luxury experience does not, meet my expectation. All right. So what other competitors are doing as well is very important for you to take note of. All right. So that you can also follow what's trending. Okay. So that you can meet customers' expectation. You can also do what we call you can ask the customer questions. Okay, what exactly? What's your honest feedback? All right, and they give you comments. So that way you can improve. So personalization and attention to detail. Um, I won't bother reading. Okay, let's just take this one and then we'll call it a day. Not call it a day, we'll go to the next thing we have for today. Budget package customers may have more modest expectation, and thus even small gestures or efforts to personalize their experience can lead to higher satisfaction levels. On the other hand, luxury customers may expect a higher degree of personalization, attention to detail, and anticipation of their needs, which can be more challenging to deliver consistently. Do you understand my point? So that starts to point out some areas. And from here, you can then coin out recommendations. You can then coin out your own recommendations based on the data that you've analyzed. And that way, you can be able to, even without being an expert or having a decade of experience in the travel sector, you are able to come up with class leading insights specific to this particular travel agency. All right. So, and you can also visualize this, okay, using the same technique that we did. All you need to do is to click in the pivot table and click on pivot table analyze like we did earlier, and then click on pivot chart. You can also click on insert, the insert tab, and you also see pivot chart towards the center of your screen right here. So any of the methods work. So I'll click on the pivot chart and click on OK, and that pops out this chart for me. Okay, and you can see the rating for budget, and then luxury and standard are fairly similar at 3.0 or close to 3.0. And yeah, you can see that, okay, what you're giving these budget guys meet or exceed the expectation, hence the reason why they're giving you this particular um, rating. So they are not expecting much. All right. So you can easily meet and exceed the expectation. So that explains what's happening in this data set. All right. So guys, if you've learned something today, you've learned something so far, give me a thumbs up. If you've learned something so far, give me a thumbs up. And then we'll talk about um, some of the other things that we have for today. So you've learned something so far today, give me a thumbs up. And you've seen how AI can. So you don't have to rack your brain, okay, much. All you need to do is to know the right questions you need to ask, and you likely get your responses. Great, fantastic. All right. So give me 1 second to share my screen once again. All right, fantastic one. I can see your responses. So let's keep our responses coming in. while I share my screen. So, okay, great, fantastic. All right, great. So now, and that's one way you can use, this is just one way of using AI. There are so many other things you can do with AI, so many other, all right? But I'll just go ahead to, let's talk about, how you can even start a career as a data analyst. So being a data analyst is not about creating very beautiful charts or creating, good looking charts, right? So in as much as you want your charts to look beautiful, you also want to give value to the organization that you're working with as a data analyst. You want to extract insights. And how best could you extract valuable insights, without using AI tools? So it gives you a near accurate, response or ideas, and it also, increases your efficiency. So it means that if you get hold of this data set, you can extract as many insights as possible within a short period of time. All right. So now, why should you even choose a career as a data analyst in the first place? Now, the demand for data analysts is very high, very high. Organizations are looking for people like you who have the skills. I refer to you as having the skills, and that's because I see you um, building this, building upon, the skills you already have to, becoming a data analyst, right? So a lot of organizations, they keep their data. Okay, some keep it in a data warehouse, some keep it in an Excel spreadsheet, and they don't know what to do with the data. Or they are doing something with the data, but they are doing it wrong. Simply because they don't have people on board who have these skills to be able to, um, extract insights from the data, right? Now, when you look at the what we call the World Economic Forum, okay, talking about specifically the future of jobs, and the World Economic Forum comprise of the of captains of industries, worldwide, talk of billionaires and high profile politicians who steer the world in the direction that it goes to. So these people come together and they discuss, the trajectory of various aspects of the economy, including jobs. Okay, so what jobs are likely going to be behind demand heading into the near future between now and 2027. All right. So if you look on my left, you have a list of jobs that are likely going to be in high demand. Okay, you can see the blue bars indicate high demand, and then you see the ones that have quite a considerable purple bar. Are those that would have low demand heading into the near future. Okay, and what I want you to direct your gaze to is data analysts and scientists. Data analysts and scientists. Okay, it's one of the top in the charts when it comes to the jobs that are likely going to be high in demand heading into the near future. And I've kept the link to the full report here. So you can always have a look at this report so that you can see for yourself the breakdown of this career path. You have data analysts, you have business intelligence analysts, okay? And these are career paths that you want to, look into. You can see others in there as well. The list is a very long list, all right? But I've just taken a snippet of this to show you where or how data analysts stack on this list. All right. Now, how do you then become a data analyst, especially in this era of AI? Okay, in this era of AI, I saw somebody saying, okay, I saw somebody saying, so but the data analyst still do the work. You are there, all right. You are there as the data analyst to do the work, and it means that AIs can't replace you. You actually need people who can leverage the AI. So the AIs are your tools and you use them to get work done. They are not going to replace you. Okay, so it is the person who, or the professional who does not level up by using AI are the ones that will get replaced. Okay, not AIs replacing you as a data analyst. Because I like to tell people, look at, you remember back in the days, you have people who are able to do mathematics, able to do calculations from the top of their heads, right? But now we have our calculators. I don't need to add 1 plus 2 to get 3. I can easily punch it on my calculator and get the accurate value. So we've relegated calculations to calculators, right? And that's how AI also, that's what AI does for you as well. So the hard part of the job, getting formulas, you can get formulas, right? You can get formulas from the AI that you can use in Excel as well. Like I said, there is a whole lot you can do. So you leveraging AI gives you that edge over others in the job market. But how do you become a data analyst? That's the bone of contention. A data analyst, like I said, is the person who goes into organizations uh, and helps them, extract insights from their data. All right. So, and the insights you are extracting from the data are going to be used to support and drive decision making within the organization. Okay, they will drive decision making within the organization, and you would engage in what we call descriptive and diagnostic analytics. You saw what we did. We're able to summarize the data. What we did today, all right, what we have done so far is what we call descriptive, is an example of descriptive analytics. Okay, where we describe the data, summarize the data to tell a story around, oh, this is what is happening in your business. This is what the business is currently facing. This is the standpoint of the business. And then you take it a step further, and you can actually take our analysis a step further to do what we call it diagnostic analytics. So we can analyze other aspects of the data to really diagnose, okay, is there something we can see in the data that actually points at the reason why the luxury package as well as the standard package have very similar average-ish satisfaction. All right. So now, and this is what you do in your day-to-day as a data analyst. Also worth noting is that on an average in the UK, a data analyst earns £40,000 annually as a data analyst. In Canada, the data analyst earns around 64,000 Canadian dollars. And in the US, the data analyst earns on an average 72,000, over 72,000 US dollars. All right, annually on an average, not the highest, not the lowest. Now, to become a data analyst, you need to ask yourself, do you have problem solving skills? Do you even have problem solving skills? A lot of people say yes, all right, but in reality, problem solving skills are also learned. Okay, they are also learned. A part of the problem solving skills you learn, during this program is you will talk about you talk about um, you talk about the Chris DM framework. Talk about the Lean Six Sigma, which comprises of the DMAIC framework of solving problems. You talk about prioritization matrix, all right, that allows you to prioritize when you have so many tasks or projects to do, right? So you also have root cause analysis. Okay, it's a framework that tells you that, look, if you get to the roots of the problem, okay, if you get the root problem, all other consequential problems would be solved without doing any other thing. Okay, so address the root cause and you would have solved the problem, right, in entirety. So you'd learn how to use and apply this, problem solving frameworks. Okay, and then after that, you'd go into Excel, right? You'd learn how to use Excel for data analytics. I showed you how to use pivot table, pivot charts, showed you what an Excel table is and how you can reference an Excel table, right? So these are some of the things you need to learn, in Excel. Then once you're done with Excel, you'd also learn SQL. Now you get to work in some organizations that already have you know, frameworks on ground, right? Like a SQL database where they store their data. Okay, and you as a data analyst will need to have the skill to be able to extract data from that particular data source or database. So in order to do this, you need to understand SQL. SQL is that language, and it's a very simple to learn language, very close to your normal the English I'm speaking with you now, right? Very close to it. And you just say, oh, select this from this table, and then it brings it out for you. And all you need to do is you analyze your data set after extracting. Okay. You also get to learn Power BI. It's a very powerful business intelligence tool. Allows you to automate reports. So reports that you constantly create month on month, okay, for the top level, members of your team. You don't have to create it every month. You create it once, and subsequently, Power BI helps you update that particular report with the latest data. You don't have to create it again, right? Tableau is also a very powerful data visualization tool, also a business intelligence tool like Power BI. Um, Recruiters typically ask for one of both, all right, one of the two. So having the two puts you at that pedestal, giving you that advantage over the competition, the market, right? You also get to learn what we call data storytelling. And you guys did a snippet of it today, right? Which is talking about the insights that you derive from the data set, and you're doing it in such a way that it's easy for your audience to relate. Oh, this is what this chart says, and simply telling a story about the data. Okay, telling a story using data. Oh, last month, we noticed that customers were more satisfied compared to this month. Okay, and we noticed that the reason was so and so and so. That is data storytelling. All right, and it follows some principles that you'd also need to have at the back of your mind, which is why we included it in this um, program. You'd also get to learn Chat GPT for analytics. Talking about AI tools, Chat GPT is also a very powerful AI tool, just like Claude. All right, and it's very versatile. Okay, and we'd have sessions. We've had sessions in the past for like this using Chat GPT. All right, but in the program itself, you also get to learn how to use Chat GPT for analytics. It's super powerful. One of the best AI tools you can use in your day-to-day as a data analyst. And at some point, I also love to show you how this works. All right. And you also get to learn, Microsoft Fabric for analytics. So Microsoft Fabric is a new tool. Okay. Microsoft Fabric is a new tool um, in the world of analytics developed by Microsoft. And you want to look at it as a one-stop shop for data professionals that allows data professionals to collaborate seamlessly on the same project. It's an organizational tool. So we want you to learn how to use it so that by the time recruiter starts to ask for people who know how to use Microsoft Fabric, or even if they don't ask, you can, use this as one of your selling points that you're bringing on board, skills in Microsoft Fabric that can, enhance the productivity of team members within their data team. Okay, and they could bring you on board solely because of this, right? So recruiters always want people who can add value. So we've included this also in order to add value. Somebody's asking, no teaching of Python. Yes, we do teach Python, but not in the data analytics program. Rather in the data science program. So we also have a data science program where you get to learn how to use Python extensively, okay, in our data science program. Somebody saying, what about R? R is usually used in the academic space, all right? So if you want to work as a data scientist, right, you want to learn how to use Python, okay? R is usually used mostly in the academic space, all right, not usually on the job. So you want to know how to use Python. Okay, so Python is your bread and butter any day, anytime, and you can do your research on this. All right, if you get to work, you're looking at data science jobs. I've also worked as a data scientist, across several projects, and it's not even a question what tool you use. Python is your bread and butter any day, anytime. All right. So and that's how to use. And the beauty is that it's very similar to R. Okay, you also have libraries. You have certain things you can use libraries to do. Python is more versatile, much more powerful when it comes to versatility and how you can apply it. All right. So I hope that answers your question. Now, as a data analyst, okay, you can apply to so many jobs, so many other jobs. You can apply to supply chain analyst jobs, BI analyst jobs, sales analyst, logistics analyst, operations analyst, product analyst, marketing analyst, and tons more that you can apply to simply by having skills as a data analyst, right? By knowing these skills that we talked about in the previous slide, right, you can apply to these roles and even more. So this is just a tip of the iceberg, okay? And what this means is that it increases your chances of getting a job once you have these skills, right? One of our participants got a job as a pathology analyst, okay? And that's simply a data analyst in the medical space, right? Pathology analyst. And that was the first time I'd heard of that particular role or such a role. Okay. So that's about that. Okay. And the program itself, if you looked at in the previous slide also, the program itself, um, covers it's a 4 month journey. So you have 3 months of project-based live classes, okay? And this will be instructor-led, where you come to class and you'd solve real-world projects using real data sets. Of course, the data set would be masked in such a way that you can't trace it back to the original organization where the data set is coming from. But the data set in itself would be a real life data set where you'd work what you'd work on, and by so doing, you learn how to use these tools and technologies that I previously stated. All right. So you have 3 months of live classes. Okay. Your live classes happens for 3 months, and after that, you get to do a 1 month virtual internship. You get to do a 1 month virtual internship. Now, across the 3 months of live classes, you'd also engage in what we call capstone projects. So once you're done with your Excel, right, you're given an actual project to solve on your own as well, okay, which is what we call a capstone project. You'd also do Power BI. Once you finish Power BI, you do your Power BI capstone project, and so on and so forth, all right, across the 3 months of your live classes. And the data analytics program, for the data analytics program, we have classes in 2 time zones. We have classes that happen 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. West African time, which is well suited to people in Europe. I'll talk about the internship with you in one moment. Okay. So this 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. What time zone is well suited to people in Europe, people in the UK, and people in Africa. If you're in Nigeria, you are somewhere in Kenya or South Africa. This time zone is usually well suited for people in this region, Africa, Europe, and the UK. All right. And we also have evening classes suited for people in North America. So if you're somewhere in Canada or you're in the US, okay, you'd attend classes from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. which also coincides with your morning times in that's 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And your classes happen on Saturdays. Okay, so Saturdays you'd have a class like this. You have someone like me, with you in class for about 3 hours, walking you through a real life case study, okay, that would address certain aspects that you need to learn incrementally, and then you'd have learned in such a way that when you get a job, you're able to replicate this knowledge. Then on Sundays, we also have what we call your self-paced watch me do it videos. Now, these self-paced watch me do it videos, um, they are very short, bite-sized videos that prepare you for the class ahead of the next Saturday. And this has been a game changer in helping us get people into the tech space. And I'll tell you how. Now, on Sundays, right? On Sundays, you get these videos. Okay, you get these videos. Now, there are a series of short videos that introduces you to the elementary aspects of what you need to learn. And these aspects do not necessarily need a live session for you to understand this. So once you watch the videos, and it gives you that self-paced learning experience as well. So you're expected to cover it on Sundays and across the week. So you have your Sunday and the entire week to cover your Watch Me Do It videos. And then on Saturday, some of the concepts you've learned from the videos will then be used to solve a real life case study under the guidance of an expert like myself, like Adeza, like Ifemena, and some of the other fantastic team members we have on board. So these Watch Me Do It videos will be provided to you on Sundays, and you are expected to, watch the very short videos introducing you to key aspects that you just need to have at the back of and practice before class on Saturdays. All right. And now, one of the reasons I would urge you to join us is because, over the course of the past few years of our existence at Analytics, here at Analytics, we've been able to help over 2,000 people make that switch from um, knowing or having no experience in data analytics to becoming a data analyst. And I'll show you some of them later, shortly rather. All right, we've been able to help more than 2,000 participants make that switch. And these were people that had no prior experience, okay? No prior experience in data analytics. Your classes run 100% online, all right? Your classes run 100 is a 100% online class. And this is how we've been able to connect to people from so many regions and help them, get tech jobs, all right? So over the course of the last 4 years, we've been able to do this amazing job, helping over 2,000 people get their first tech jobs. On top of this, we have, like I mentioned at the beginning, during the introduction, when I was talking about, who we are here at Analytics. We bring on board fantastic professionals like myself, who I've worked with for a mail. I used Excel and Power BI on that particular job. Excel and Power BI on that particular job. So imagine me bringing on board in class, bringing to class one of the data sets I've used in that particular organization, masked like I mentioned. Okay, and then I'll tell you exactly what problems I've been able to solve using the data sets, how I solved it, and you do that under my guidance. Okay, that way you'd have experienced what it's like to work as a data analyst. Okay. And these are the caliber of facilitators you would have on board. You also have a blended training experience that accommodates everyone in the sense that it's a mix of live classes and self-paced watch me do it video. So you don't have to appear in class on every single day, all right, during the weekend. So all you need to do is, watch your watch me do it videos, like I mentioned earlier, and then you'll be prepared for the next class on Saturdays. All right. So it's a mix of live classes and self-paced experience. So it helps people who are both fast and slow learners to be able to catch up. And they also have extra sessions that I'll be talking about that specifically positions you to land your job. So it's not about knowing Excel alone. It's not about knowing Power BI or being very good at Power BI. It's about knowing what or how to look for the job. Okay, you also have to learn how to look for the job so that you finally land that job. So things like optimizing your CV, A lot of people don't know that your CVs would walk into the organization before you. So you need to put your best foot forward. So your CV has to, be attractive to potential recruiters so that you can get the opportunity to interview. And talking about interviews, I've prepared quite a lot of people for interviews who have, gone on to get jobs, and I'll be talking about some of them in today's session. So your LinkedIn profile also, it has to, um, it has to, look a certain way so that you can attract potential recruiters as well. Okay. So these are the things that I would walk you through in these tailored sessions that position you to land a job. So some of the people that have been able to get jobs with us, you have ICMAT. And I love talking about ICMAT, and that is specifically because I was when ICMAT applied to jobs. So ICMAT joined us. ICMAT joined our program, our data analytics program, and we tell people that look, start to apply to jobs, even if you finish just Excel. So immediately you finish your Excel module, start applying to jobs. So ICMAT started very early applying to jobs, and she was a full stay at home. That's something we need to take note of. So she got invited for for an interview for one of the jobs she applied to. And then I was assigned to prepare her specifically for that interview. Okay, I prepared her for the interview and she went on to get the job. And not just getting the job, it came with a full sponsorship in the UK with the NHS. And I'll just quickly play her own video. I'll just play her own video so you can hear exactly what she had to say. Okay, others are also here. You have Benga, you have Ramat, have fantastic stories behind them. I'll just click on, um, I'll click on, Ikmat's video. I'm not sure. Please confirm if you can hear the audio. Um, Khadija, if you're on the call, can you hear the audio?
No, I can't hear the audio.
You can't hear the audio.
Yes, I can't hear it.
All right. Just give me 1 second. Okay, you can't hear the audio. Okay. Sorry, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second to fix that. All right, so I'll just take it back and play.
Hi everyone, my name is
Can we,
Ikmat,
can we hear the audio now?
and
Yes,
I was with the March cohort in Analytics, and joining Analytics has been the best decision so far. For me, someone coming from a background of full housewife, because I had to stay back home to look after my child for 4 years, and then wanting to break into something new, wanting to go back into the workforce, wanting to place myself in the society for better job opportunities. So it was a lot. And then I'm glad that Analytics came along, and then they presented me with so many opportunities right in front of me, better opportunities. And then I'm glad I took it. And then uh, also the advice of do not sell yourself short, that if it is always saying, it is very, very valid, because place yourself right, don't sell yourself short. It's a very, very, very valid advice. In analytics, they will hold your hands like a child, you know, through the modules. You have the opportunity to go back and study, you have the opportunity to go back and practice, you have the opportunity to ask questions, you know, you have people you can always go back to even outside of class hours. It's the most amazing experience so far, really. And then another thing is the interview prep, guys. That is another very important thing. I did my
I want you to take note of what she's about to say. So somebody's asking, she came from which background? She was a full stay-at-home mom, right? So left um left her previous job for about 4 years, right? She was in the UK, and she was able to, make that switch. So she's about to talk about her interview experience, which is, I want you guys
I
to
did my interview prep with Mr. Mohammed, and it is
take.
the best decision ever
I'll
because
take it back
it
a
was like did my interview prep with Mr. Mohammed, and it is the best decision ever because it was like he saw into the future. He knew what was going to be asked, and I'm glad that I wrote down all the things he mentioned. I went back to practice, and then when it was time for the interview, it was like everything he was mentioning, everything he mentioned, it was just they kept on. And then when I was answering those questions, I was so confident, because I already practiced. I did an Excel test, I did a math test, and then they were really impressed. And another thing is, guys, it may not
I did an Excel test. You heard that? I did an Excel test.
come as fast as you expect. Definitely, you are going to get some no's, and then you may begin to think you're not good enough. You are good enough, yes. The no's will come, but always take it as a basis for learning and development because after every interview where I got a no, I always make sure I get a personal feedback. So I work on those feedbacks for my next interviews. And yes, it worked. It really worked for me because I got my first job 3 months into the program, my first job. But I couldn't take up the job because I was a student and I was only eligible to work 20 hours. So I couldn't take up the job. 3 months later, I got 2 jobs with full visa sponsorship. And guys, all the other no's before the 2 jobs prepared me for the yeses I got. So yes, the no's will come, but do not give up because you always have the analytics to go back to. They are the best, and the best thing that's ever happened to me. And then yes, and they are the most affordable, the most affordable one I've come across so far. And that's a very good advantage. So yes, analytics for the win.
Yeah, and speaking about affordable, right? I'll talk more about the sorry, give me one
Thank you
second.
so much. So good evening once again. My name is Priscilla and I'll be your host for today. I hope we're all doing okay, right? It's the weekend and
the next video kept playing, so sorry about that. All right. So as I was saying, I mean, ICMAT was also a beneficiary from the IWD discounts last time out. All right. So she got a 50% discount as well. And it's something I would love us to take advantage of. I spoke about it at the beginning of the session. I'll still talk about it shortly. Now you also have Benga. I won't bore you with playing each of them one after the other. You get the slides, so and I'll implore you to watch each and every single one of them. So they have fantastic stories to share. We have Benga, we have Ramat, we have Aduke, we have Akintola, we have Etin, so many of them, in here. All right. But we have a cohort starting. We have a cohort starting on the 6th of April 2024. And that particular cohort, okay, we're offering participants to join this particular cohort on our 50% IWD discount, which is our International Women's Day discount. And we are doing this to commemorate the International Women's Day. All right. So like you can see in the chart, we are offering a 50% discounts across all our programs for 300 women and 50 men. 300 women and 50 men, like I said, both men and women will be beneficiaries of this particular program. Okay, so the first 300 women and 50 men, to register using the international by indicating interest, and making payments for the International Women's Day discount, would be the ones to take part in this program. Okay, so and the slots are ticking away, and I'll show you how many slots are left. Okay, and once the slots are complete, it's going to close. There are not going to be any further any further acceptance or payments for this particular discount. Okay, so now you have the data analytics program, okay, which originally is $750. Okay, $750, and we're offering it at a 50% discount, which is $375. Okay, $375. So if you're paying in pounds, you have it at 625 pounds normally, but we are offering it at 312.5 pounds. Okay, so these are the current prices. And if you click on the link my team member is sharing in the chat now, if you want to pay in Naira, if you're in Nigeria, you want to pay in Naira, you'd see the equivalent, okay, in there. Okay, once you click on that, and I'll show you how it looks like in a bit. And if you look at my screen currently, it is ticking down. Okay, it is ticking down. So we have just 128 slots left, and this is as of this morning. As of this morning, we had 128 left. Yesterday, it was I think about 140 something. All right, so we have 128 slots left for the women and only 14 slots left for the men. And this discount only applies to the April cohort, meaning it only applies to the cohort starting on the 6th of April. Okay, after which, this would not be, nobody would be able to benefit from this package. It gets closed and we revert back to the original prices. All right. So you want to take advantage now while you still can, so that okay. Oh, okay. All right. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. So, like I said, it applies to the cohort starting in April, okay, and also the cohort starting in May. Okay. It applies to the cohort starting April and May, and you can see the slots left. So, in as much as you also have, it's applies to those starting in May as well as April, right? The discount ends in March. So we're still back back to the same page. All right, so you have to ensure you secure the discount now. Okay, so and then you indicate if you want to start in April or in May, but only those indicating to start either in either month, which is April or May, would be able to benefit from this discount. Okay, you can see the slots remaining, so please take action. Now, I spoke about how we help people to get jobs. Okay, I spoke about how we help people to get jobs, and yeah, I spoke about how we help people get jobs. Okay, sorry about that. Sorry about that, guys. All right. So now, I spoke about the fact that knowing Excel is not the only thing you need. It's not enough to become a data analyst. You have to know how to navigate your way in the job market. And how do we position you to do this? First off, we help you we have a level called level 1. And in this level, we help you look at your CV. Your CV is the paper representation of yourself, and it has to be in a certain way. All right. So this is the first contact potential recruiter has with you, and it has to meet their expectation, else you don't get the chance to get called for an interview. So we help you review your CV, restructure it, tell you how to tailor it to to meet the expectation of potential recruiters. Then you also have your LinkedIn optimization sessions. Now, in this particular session, right, we tell you the importance of having a LinkedIn account and how your LinkedIn account serves as a social proof Now you come on board and you say, oh, I'm so and so. Are you who you say you are? Potential recruiters would go to verify your LinkedIn. Okay, is this person who they say they are? Okay, and on your LinkedIn, it has to be optimized. You need to do what we call show your workings. All right, post the projects that you've embarked on your LinkedIn profile, and that sensitizes potential recruiters, and they know that you actually have the skills that you say you have. Then you also have your Upwork optimization session. I spoke about the fact that having tech skills allow you to do what we call freelancing. Okay, freelancing, and Upwork is one platform where you can do that, and you do it remotely. So from the comfort of your home, just the way you'll be joining the classes to learn, you'd also, be in the comfort of your home, just have your workspace, and then you can work from home. How cool is that? But in order to secure these opportunities, you need to be able to, optimize your your LinkedIn account. Sorry, I beg your pardon, your Upwork account, so that potential recruiters can see that, oh, these are the things you've done, these are the things you can do, and you are able to hop on a project, and you can get things done, okay, and also get paid for it. All right, you get paid mostly in dollars on Upwork, depending on the region where your client is, but it's mostly your clients would come from mostly the US or North America. But the good thing is that regardless of the region you are in, either you're in Africa, you're in Europe, you can actually work with this client. You also have what we call navigating the job market. So we have professionals, okay, who have navigated the job market, taking the steps that you are seeking to take, who have achieved the goal you are seeking to achieve. So they will come on board and tell you exactly how you can navigate the job market, especially specific to the location you are in. So say you're in Africa, or you're in the UK, you're in the US, you know, um, you have professionals walk you through on how to navigate the job market tailored to those specific regions. And then you also have job interview preparation sessions. Okay, you heard Ikmat speak about this, and I specifically prepared her for that particular interview. Okay, so when you apply to jobs and you have interviews coming up, all right, so you are able to schedule an interview prep session before the actual interview, where we look at the job description, also look at the CV used to apply to that role. And uh, you have professionals like myself preempt you questions and prepare you for the questions you are likely going to face in that particular interview. Okay. And this, puts you at the front foot in acing that particular interview. And then you have recommendation letters. Recommendation letters have been one of the reasons why, our participants have gone on to secure the role permanently. So after you've been given an offer, you would also be asked to provide a recommendation, from your previous employer, so on and so forth. So the analytics would stand as that referee and would vouch for you, telling them, writing a very compelling recommendation letter on your behalf, telling them that, we've worked with you and you have, the requisite skills and abilities to carry out um, what is required of you on the job. And this has been one very key ingredient um, in helping our participants land a tech job. Okay. And then you have level two. Now that's just level one. So in level two, you have what we call weekly mentorship sessions. Now these are sessions where we bring people on board, professionals, and even past participants. Someone like Ikmat, someone like Ramat that you saw, when I was talking about the people who have gotten jobs. We bring these people back so that you can ask them questions. So how did you do this? And they'll share with you their own experience. So how they were able to do this, what they did exactly, the tools they used, all right, what their experience is on the job, how did they find their way around, some of the things that were totally new to them, all these burning questions you get to ask them, and they'll share their experience with you, and that accelerates your own journey compared to theirs. All right. Now you also have what we call on the job support. So you get a job, okay, and you're confused on some of the initial things you need to do. And some of our participants have had this issue as well. Not an issue, it's not actually an issue, but it's bound to happen. Okay. So you're confused on the necessary steps you need to take because you're new in that job. So we also give you that support for at least one, I mean, for a range of 1 month after you've gotten the job. Okay. And within that period, most of our participants have been able to find their foot even within 2 weeks into the job, okay, due to the kind of job support that we offer. And then in level 3, we are guaranteeing you one job interview 1 month after you complete the training program, right? And how we've been able to do this is very simple. We've partnered with so many recruitment agencies in so many regions in Nigeria, in Africa, the UK, in the US, in Canada, and I'll mention some of them, when I get to those slides. Um, and this is in a bid to bring the jobs closer to our participants, even if we urge them to apply to jobs themselves. All right. So bring the jobs closer to you so that you can have the best chance of getting a job. So somebody asked about our growth internship, the 1 month internship. Now it's a highly immersive internship, okay? And this is where you get to test your skills. Okay, you test your skills alongside applying to jobs, right? So, and you get to work on more real world projects where you'd have professionals, okay, professionals, who are directly associated with the project you are working with, give you feedback on those projects. All right, give you feedback, and that gives that further puts your skills to the test and increases your both your presentation skills and even your technical skills as a data analyst. So it's going to happen for um, a period of 1 month. Okay, you get to work on real world projects. Okay, and you can include all of this in your resume, making your resume stand out from the lot. Okay, so and it's totally free. It's not at any additional cost. So you can join this internship, and this helps you further hone your skills. Again, it's just like the training itself. It's totally virtual. It's 100% online. So you get to join this internship online, giving you that remote working experience. Now, for this particular year, okay, we've done a whole lot last year. We did fantastically last year. But like I said, one of the things we are even doing this year is to partner with recruitment agencies to bring the jobs closer to you. All right. But that's not all. Okay, we have 3 of them. Now, I made mention of body mentorship, where we bring someone like, Ikmat, who is a past participant that will come on board and share their own experience with you, the tips and tricks they use to get the job, what kind of questions they ask during the interviews. You get to ask them these questions. Okay, and that's why we call them, they are your buddies, because they've passed through the program, they've gotten a job, and they'll come back and give back to you. Okay, and this puts you at an advantage to help you accelerate your own journey. And then you also have, an internship, like I made mention of. And for those of you who will be joining the data engineering or business analysis program, okay, we've enhanced the internship, due to the kind of projects you'll be working on, in those specific areas. All right. Then, last but not the least, we've added, we've established partnerships with recruitment agencies like Harvey Nash, Manpower, Robert Half, And this cuts across the US, Canada, the UK, as well as Africa. Okay. So again, like I said earlier, we are doing this to be able to, bring the jobs closer to, giving them that putting that helping them put their best foot forward in getting a job the fastest way possible. So now these are some of the new additions heading into 2024. All right. Now you have more testimonials. Okay, more testimonials. You have Tony. I'd have loved to play Tony's video for you, but I won't. Since you would get this slide, you'd also be able to watch Tony. All right. So I prepared Tony also for our interview, and she got the job as well as a benefits analyst, also in the UK, along with full sponsorship. Um, and she got this 1 month after training with us. You also have Olugbemi, fantastic professional, got a job with Law Depot in Canada after training with us. And you can listen to Olugbemi right there. You also have Benga. Okay, you also have Benga, fantastic professional. Now, one thing about Benga was that Benga got an offer, okay, and he got 3 more offers after that, and he had to settle for the one that best fits his long-term goals and expectations. All right. So imagine, I mean, Benga was in Poland. He was applying to jobs. Even if he got the interview, he was not getting the jobs. He joined our data analytics program, and he got a total of 4 offers. So he got an offer and 3 more. So, and then, you had to settle for the one that best met his expectation. You have Sunday, got a job as a data analyst after joining our program. You have Amaka, you have Steven, you have Whistling, got a job with Shell in the UK as a sales analyst. That was Olugbemi. I spoke about Olugbemi. You have Usman. Usman is a very young man. Okay, got a job as a business intelligence officer, after training here with us at Tenalytics. You have more of them, okay? You have more of them. And, I tell people that you need to actually come on board, especially with the International Women's Day discount um, currently effective. You need to come on board. But why exactly? Now, last year alone, we were able to help almost 1,000 people get jobs. Okay, over 850 people were able to transition right from the classroom to getting their first job in tech. Okay, across several regions around the globe. And what we do is this: our curriculums are up to date, right? Because we are very much abreast with what's obtainable in the job market. We update our curriculums alongside. You also be working with industry experts, and you'll be getting, you're getting a first-hand experience of what it's like to work as a data analyst while you're learning. Learn key concepts that are applicable on the job, and so many more. The training is also blended. Okay, it's a combination of both your live classes and your self-paced watch me do it video, which I talked about moments ago. And this allows us to blend training program to suit different learning styles. Okay, and while in class, the facilitators also, like myself, understand the need of participants such that, because I've been able to, I've experienced this as well. Okay. I experienced transitioning into tech. So, and I know the pain points of participants. So I literally facilitate or teach people how to use this tool the way I wished to have been taught if I had the same opportunity back then. All right. So it's a very blended training delivery in such a way that, um, regardless of your learning style, you'd be able to, be accommodated, in this particular training program. You also have additional employability services, which I spoke about, the CV review sessions, your job interview preparation sessions, your LinkedIn optimization sessions, your Upwork optimization sessions. These are additional employability services that you get by joining us. You'll also get to experience an internship that simulates you working as a data analyst, all right? Helping you hone your skills and get confident with your skills, all right? Then all this make you job ready and you're able to hit the ground running, as a data analyst. And I would love you to also take into cognizance that, look, the IWD discount currently running is just for 300 women, the first 300 women and 50 men. The reason why we included 50 men is because we want the men to also serve as allies, to these contemporaries, to these women, you know, and that's how the tech ecosystem works. All right. So do well to take advantage of the discounts currently running so that you can be part of the program. Okay, so yeah, when you get the slides, you get to see all of these. Some of the companies our participants currently work with. Some of the highlights, from even 2022 and last year. Yeah, you'd see some of the highlights from 2023. This was the last year we offered this to just 300 women alone. Okay, the IWD discounts just to 300 women. So this year we're looking at 300 women and 50 men as well. So please take advantage of the 50% International Women's Day discount so that you can be a part of the program. All right. So I would open the floor for questions, but before I do that, permit me to show you what it's like to be in one of our data analytics program. So when you join our program, all right, you'll be put into one of these classrooms. Okay, so I'll just go to the most recent classroom. Now, this is the data analytics. This is the European class. So these are people that attend classes from 11 a.m. West African time to 1 p.m. West African time. Okay, that's the time period well suited to people in Europe, in Africa, in the UK, and all of that. All right. Now, if you click on classwork, you'll be part of this. You'll be in this. Sorry, give me 1 second. All right. So you'd be in this platform as well. You have access to all of these. Okay. So now when you come on board, you'd get access to so many materials. So I'll just go all the way down. So the first set of materials you'd get are your onboarding materials. This will include your welcome kits, how to download and install the tools and technologies you need to use, and you'd get this before the very first class. And you'd even have an onboarding session where everything you need to know going into the program would be stated. All right. And sorry about that. All right. So you then get to you then get to experience this onboarding session where we'll tell you everything you need to know heading into the program. All right. And then this is your first set of Microsoft Excel watch me do it videos. All right. So these are short videos that introduce you to key concepts in Excel. Now, you'd go through all of these. Now, once you've done this, Saturday, all right, on Saturday, the very first class you'd have on Saturday, is your problem solving class. Okay. Okay, after a problem solving class is when you get your first set of Excel watch video videos. So your problem solving class would cover those key problem solving concepts that we talked about. All right, those key problem solving concept that we talked about. You see, that's myself. I took this particular class. Problem solving. Talk about the different um, um, concepts in data analytics and the different concepts, techniques in solving problems. Okay, you can see it right there, CRISP-DM framework, the root cause analysis, and not just talking about them, but also applying them in solving actual problems. Okay, and you'd also get to apply one of those techniques in class there to solve a problem. All right, so you'd also have the class recording. So let's say for some reason you miss the class. You have access to the class recording, and all you need to do is to come here and click on this link. Okay, once you click on the link, you'd have access to watch to relieve the class. Okay, you can relieve the class, and you'll be able to you'd see exactly what was done in that particular class. And if you have questions, you have a dedicated WhatsApp group for your training program where your facilitator will also be present in there, and you can ask your questions in there and get it answered. So I'll just leave it to buffer, and I'll come back to that. So you'll also have what we call drop-in sessions. Now, after your class on Saturday, okay, you may have some questions that will crop up later during the week. So how about we call drop-in sessions? And this is a 1-hour session where you get to join to ask any questions that you have pertaining to what
That's what it is.
done.
Numbers
Okay,
in simple
so
terms.
far.
Right?
So the recording
Numbers.
is
And that's what you call
simply,
quantitative data.
explaining
Now, when you talk
this
of quantitative
concept
data,
to
when you talk of quantitative
the
data,
participants. So somebody who missed the class can come back here and watch this recording to be able to, leave the class. And like I said, if you have questions, you can ask on the group or ask during this particular drop-in session. Okay. And these drop-in sessions happen, weekly. So after every class, you have the drop-in session during the week where you join for about an hour to ask any questions that you have. Okay, you also have what you call mentorship sessions. We talked about, those additional employability session, that allow you, that helps you get a job. Okay, you can see targeted strategies, and this is to applying to jobs, to getting interviews and all that. The material for the session is in there. You can see you must get a job. Okay, so these are strategies that are put in place. So, and this is the recording to the session. So every single session that you attend, you would have access to the recording, the full recording of the session at no extra cost. In as much as you've registered, you get access to all of these specifically for your cohort. So this was the login details that the participants used to join the session. So during the weekend now, okay, on Saturday, you'd have your first Excel class. And before this, you would have had your Module 1 videos for Excel. Okay, so you'd have watched those videos during the week and on Sunday. And, on Saturday during your live class, you'd get to work on, a real life case study. All right, you get to work on a real life case study. And let me show you a snippet of how that looks like. So you can see Excel Live Class 1. I also took this specific class. So you can see you have been hired as a data analyst in one of the largest medical centers in North America with about 10,000 staff. And the hospital management has determined that for optimal performance and productivity, the number of staff in a branch through a year should not be less than 10% of the number of patients who visit the branch in that year. So your task is to highlight those branches that fall below 10% threshold to make them easier to spot before further analysis. Okay, so and to highlight branches, because you've given a data set of branches of the hospital branches, and you want to highlight those of them that did not meet this 10% threshold that have been predetermined by the management. So, and you'd use techniques like conditional formatting. You'd use techniques like you use some formulas also, to get this done. Okay. And this is just case one. You also have case two, where you have been onboarded on a project as a data analyst with a client from the oil and gas sector. And one of your first tasks is you'll be given a table and you are asked to compute the table with all of this information. Okay, you do what we call mixed referencing, um, relative referencing, absolute referencing, and all these are techniques in Excel, Microsoft Excel, or you'll be applying them in solving real world projects. And that way you would have learned from experience. You also have a third, um, you know, um, case study that covers data cleaning. You'd see a snippet of data cleaning, and it's also embedded into a real case study. Of course, these data sets have been masked and codified so that they hide the original organization where these data sets were coined from. So these are this is a snippet of the class, and again, all your classes are recorded. All your classes are recorded. Okay, just like the previous session that I played, this class is also recorded, and you can come back here and always rewatch the class. So if there's anything you missed, you'll be able to,
I'm only seeing the microphone.
class.
Okay, you can only see the microphone now.
Yeah.
So that was somebody, a participant in class trying to ask a question. Okay, and I was walking them through on
The live classes cannot replace your watch video videos.
you can see me sharing my screen in there, walking them through on how to get stuff done in Excel. So this is just a snippet of what the class looked like. You can see the body mentorship, and then the very first thing you see when you get into your classroom is the important materials, containing your CV templates. There's a template we need you'd get for your CV. These are job sites and job roles that you can apply to as a data analyst. And there are some consistency projects, that you'd partake in. And this is the link to book an interview prep. So if you click on this, you can definitely book an interview prep with Mohammed Suleiman. Okay. So yeah, you can be able to, book an interview prep with myself, on this specific dates. Um, using that particular link. Okay, so you can see job application tracker. So you apply to a job, um, you want to document it here so that we can be able to track how you apply to jobs. So if you apply to a certain number of jobs and you're not getting called back for an interview, then it means that something is wrong somewhere. And this would allow us be proactive about, helping you to get a job, as soon as you can. So this is just a snippet of what it's like to be on board on our program. So the link to enrolling has been put in the chat. Okay, you want to click on the link, you know, follow the follow the instructions and indicate interest, and then you'll also see the pricing for the IWD discounts, depending on the um, program you want. So when you click on the link, you can see the form. You'd see the form for the IWD discount. You'd see the terms and conditions to be eligible for the International Women's Day discount, and you can see um, the deadline for the payments, 29th of 29th of March. We're currently on 24th of March, so you'd see the breakdown of the 50% discount. All you need to do is enter in your email, select your gender, fill this up, and then you submit. Once you submit, you get an email. Okay, you get an email with the link for you to enroll. All right, with the link for you to enroll. Now, speaking about the link for you to enroll, I've clicked on the link now. Okay, it's all in the chat. I'm picking them also from the chat. Okay, and my team member is putting them in the chat. So all you need to do is once you click on the link, you'd see it comes to this page, and all you need to do is you'd see the um, programs, all the programs that we currently offer, and all you need to do is to scroll down to data analytics. All right. Once you click on data analytics, okay, that takes you to the page where you can reserve a seat. Okay, you can see the discounted price. The normal price is 900,000 naira if you're in Nigeria. Okay, and the 50% discount that gives you access to all of the nice stuff I've spoken about today so far is 450,000. And you can do that. You can pay a minimum of 250,000 if that's what you have at the moment, and you balance up before the class starts. Okay, before the class starts, you balance this up, but you would have reserved your seat by paying 250,000. All you need to do is to delete what you have there, type in 250,000, and you can reserve your seat by paying 250,000. All you need to do is you'd um you'd balance this up before your class starts. Okay, so click on reserve a seat, and then all you need to do is to enter in your full name and your email, enter in your region and your phone number, and all you need to do is to click on proceed. Okay, and you'll be able to make payments. That way, you would have reserved your seats. All right, so I'll just throw the floor down now to one or two questions, and then we'll call it a day. All right, we'll call it a day afterwards. So if you want to ask a question, use the raise hand icon, and then I'll ask you to unmute, and I'll take a question. So I'll take two questions, and yeah, we also have a dedicated session called the clarity session. It always happens on Tuesdays, where we get to answer any questions that you have, any additional questions. So just note your questions down, and you keep a date with us for Tuesday. We have morning sessions and evening sessions where, depending on your time zone, and you get to join those sessions specifically for us to answer questions. Okay, so I'll take two questions today, and we would wrap up. So Sekinat, your hand is up. I've asked you to unmute. Go ahead and unmute and ask your question.
Okay. Good evening. Thank you very much for the lecture. My question is, if we make the 250,000 naira payment to reserve a seat, the balance, that's 20,000 naira, can that be paid? Let's say, for instance, I pick May court. Can that payment be made before I start my class by May? That means I can make payments within April. That's my question.
All right. So if you look at the terms and conditions, right? So the terms and conditions states that, and I'll just present that one more time so that we can all see that. Okay, so I believe we can see my screen now. So according to the terms and conditions, right? So this particular discount, the window it's been open since it's been open since the beginning of the International Women's Day. All right. So, and it's going to close on the 29th. So you can see, you can see it's payments must be made in full on or before Sunday, the 31st of March. Okay. So on the 31st of March, unfailingly, this particular package is going to be closed. So if you want to, once you pay, if you pay it, 250,000 today, you can balance it up on or before the 31st of this month, and that way you would be eligible to start with us either in April or May, depending on when you indicate to start. All right. So I hope that answers your question. Okay, does that answer your question?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, it's a pleasure. All right, so I'll take one more question before we call it a day. Like I said, we have a dedicated clarity session where we answer your questions specifically. So just take note of your questions if I'm unable to take it today. So any other person who would love to answer a question, just use the raise hand icon. And all right, and I'll take your question. Okay, anybody? All right. So in the absence of any other question, like I said, if any other question crops up in your mind, all you need to do is to join our clarity session on Tuesdays. So we have sessions that start 2 p.m. Watt or 11 p.m. Watt. So the 2 p.m. Watt sessions are well suited to people in Europe, and for those in Canada, you can join our 11 p.m. West African time sessions on Tuesdays. We hold this every Tuesday to specifically take your questions. Okay, so okay, if it says I'm likely to pay before Tuesday, great. Before Tuesday, all right. So that works perfectly. Okay, so take advantage of the discounts. It's going to close on the 31st of March. I beg your pardon. So you have to take advantage of it while it still lasts now, so that it can be part of the program. So cheers, guys. We'll call it a day for now. So bye for now. See you next time. All right. Cheers, guys.